Hey guys, Nicole Bowman here, psychic, medium, and intuitive artist. So I hope that everybody is doing well. I want to say hi to everybody who's coming in the room. Before we get started, because there's a lot of things that I want to talk about tonight, before we get started, if you can, just put a heart in the comment section because I'm just trying to make sure that people can hear me. Okay? So I'm just trying to make sure of that. But there are so many things that I was thinking about tonight. There have been some things that I've been thinking about for a while, actually. And one of the biggest things that is coming up is spiritual maturity, right? That is something that we're really dealing with right now. And I want to say hi to everybody who's coming in. If you can, put a heart in the comment section because I just want to make sure that people can hear me. Okay? So just put a heart up if you can because I want to make sure that folks can hear me. Okay, awesome. Thank you. So as I was saying before, my name is Nicole Bowman. I'm a psychic, medium, and intuitive artist. I've been reading professionally for well over a decade, writing books, writing music, helping people to heal and evolve. And one of the biggest themes that is coming up in 2024 is spiritual maturity and speaking the truth and knowing the truth and living the truth. And I think that right now, with everything that is going on with the blue state and everything that is going on with the watermelon state, we are having some really difficult conversations that we need to talk about and some really difficult questions that we need to ask ourselves. So I'm going to talk tonight a little bit about celebrity and how celebrity is changing and shifting and falling. And then I'm going to scale it all the way back to our lives and what we can take from this. One of the interesting things that is going on, and this is something that I read on when I was in Colombia summer, is that the cult of celebrity as we know it is ending. And that doesn't mean that there won't be celebrities, and that doesn't mean that people won't like their favorite artist. But what we're starting to see is that veil is lifting. And so what we're starting to see is that our favorite celebrities are just people too. They're not perfect beings. They're not perfect people. And that is by design. And what is interesting is that we're in a space where the truth is coming out. And that's not just coming out on the political stage. That's not just coming out on the sound stage. That's not just coming out in Hollywood. That's coming out in our lives. There are a lot of us who are finding relationships that are ending. There are a lot of us who are saying goodbye to people who we thought would be in our lives forever. And in many cases, a lot of us are mourning people that are still here. But this is by design. If you are growing and evolving spiritually, if you're raising to new heights, it stands to reason that you're going to have to leave some people behind. And it stands to reason that there are going to be some people that leave you. So, I wanted to talk about that. But if there is anyone who has questions about spirituality, things that you want to add, maybe insight that you personally have about your life and what's going on, I would love it if people join in the conversation and write in the comments because that really does help the conversation to grow and build. There's one thing I want to talk about tonight, and I think a lot of people have been discussing this because this has been throughout TikTok, and I think that we need to talk about it because it's a complicated conversation. I think many of you are familiar with the singer-songwriter Kat Janis, who is a very talented woman. But unfortunately, one of the things that has been discovered is that she supported or followed the Blue Star State in some capacity, right? But there are a lot of us, myself included, who felt compelled to stream her music to help her child. And there were some people, after finding out where her politics fell, they no longer wanted to support her. Now, I will say this, that is absolutely their right. That is absolutely their prerogative. I stand in full solidarity with the watermelon people. I stand in full solidarity with my Jewish brothers and sisters who are against occupation. That's where I'm at. But I will say this. When I am led to give to someone, whether it be money, time, attention, whatever that might look like, When I'm led to give to another human being, it's because the divine, it's because Creator, it's because God is compelling me to do that. And when God compels you to do something for someone, you are becoming God's hands and feet. You are essentially becoming God's grace on earth. And the thing about grace is that we don't do anything to deserve it or earn it. Grace doesn't come to us because we're likable. Grace doesn't come to us because we feel or fashion ourselves good people. Grace comes to us because we're here, because we're all children of the divine. And so someone else said this on this app, and I agree with this. The ask was not about her. The ask was about her child. The ask was about improving his quality of life. And for me personally, when I'm led to give, I don't always know the bigger picture of everything because I'm not God. But what I do know is that when I'm led to give and when I feel that in my spirit, I do it. And then when I'm told to stop and when I sense it's time to stop, I stop or I pause. So if you did support her and you're suddenly questioning that, or if you didn't and your intuition said no, either way, you did what you felt led to do. And at this point, now that you know the truth, now that you can see things as they are, see them with a clear set of eyes and just don't look away from it. But I was thinking actually, and I was feeling this, and I think I'm feeling the energy of her spirit a little bit because of what is going on with Prince Charles. I'm getting to a point. Princess Diana, many years ago, when she was still with us, she took her sons, William and Harry, to what would be considered Skid Row. And they were giving out food and they were giving out things to the unhoused population. And William recalled that there was a person who was kind of grumpy with him and just sort of snatched whatever he gave them and barely looked at him. And Princess Diana said to her son, you know, William, everyone doesn't like us. You know that. And I think that in that moment, giving to someone who may not like you, may not care about you, but being God's hands and feet in that moment is an act of God's grace. And so I don't excuse inexcusable behavior. I'm never going to do that. But if I'm led by spirit to give, I will. And that's the thing. Creator knows the bigger picture. Creator knows how this will end. We don't. We may see bits, we may see pieces, but we're not the maker of it. And so if you are moving into a space of spiritual maturity, you have to ask yourself really complex and philosophical questions, because we want everything to be black and white, and we want everything to be really, really easy to understand. But life is not black and white. There are shades of gray, and there is so much color, and there is everything in between. And I would say, if you stand on the side of life, and you stand on the side of truth, and you stand on the side of Creator, and you listen to your gut instincts when you are making your choices, you will be just fine. So this is my first live. So I am looking at the comments and I'm wondering if anybody can help me out. Okay, I'm clicking on more comments. Okay. You guys, I'm thinking aloud because I'm joining to see the comments. Thank you so much. I follow back for saying peace be with you. Peace for you as well. I appreciate that. If there is anyone who wants to say anything, wants to talk about spiritual matters, that's actually what I'm here for tonight. This is actually my first live on TikTok because I'm at the point where I have enough followers to do it. And what is super interesting is that I wanted to do it before, but I think everything happens in divine timing. So let's talk about something here, right? And I'll talk, and if there are people who want to join into the conversation, please join in. I'll periodically check the comments. But let's talk a little bit about Monique. Monique, wonderful actor, powerful human being. A lot of what she has to say about what happens to people of color in the entertainment industry, especially Black women, is very true. But in recent days, one of her children, one of her adult sons, came out and said he was estranged from his mother, and that she had sort of put the onus on him to build the bridge for that relationship. And I know a lot of people have watched that video, and if you haven't, I recommend you go back and watch. His name is Shalon. You can find it here on TikTok because it's basically going viral. But when I look at things as a psychic medium and intuitive, if I'm looking at celebrity things, because I don't always look at that, but if I am looking at it, I always ask myself, what is the bigger picture here? And what can we learn and what can we understand from this? And one of the things that I think about when it comes to parents and when it comes to children, right? When it comes to these dysfunctional family systems, and it definitely sounds like that was one of them, the onus is not on the child, and the onus is not on the adult child to bridge the gap. The onus is on the parent. It's on the parent to do that. I sincerely hope that Monique, though, gets her flowers as a performer, because I feel that she deserves that. But I think that in this year of 2024, where things are being uncovered, what we're seeing is that there is so much that has been hidden that has come to the surface. And one of the things that Spirit said, they said in this year, it's incumbent upon all of us that our words, our thoughts, our actions line up. We're not perfect people. We're never going to do it right all the time. But if what you say, what you do, and what you feel lines up most of the time, you're going to live a good life. And so try to make sure that what you present publicly is what you live privately. Because what I'm seeing is that, and we're especially seeing this for celebrities, but we can learn from them. Because how many of us in our own lives have been blindsided by somebody we knew leading a double life, right? A lot of that is going to come to the surface right now. A lot of that is also going to come to the surface in terms of love and relationships. People not being honest, people having whole entire families. Things of this nature are going to show up in droves this year because it has to. Because if you've been doing your spiritual work, because if you've been living your life, if you've been walking in your truth, then you've raised your vibration to a certain frequency that everything cannot stand. So if things are not a vibrational match to who and what you are, they're going to fall away. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about too. It's difficult when people leave your life. It's difficult when people that you thought would be there forever don't stick around. But the reality is, if you are growing and evolving spiritually, there aren't going to be as many people that can come with you. And that's the trade-off on the spiritual path, is that you lose people, and sometimes people lose you. So important to know that. I'm going to look and see if we have any comments. I want to thank everybody who's joined. Let's just take a moment. I'm going to say hi to everybody. And if you want to type in the comments, absolutely do. I'm going to say hi to Kristan, Country Girl, Kimmy, Wancho, Sally, Tony, Ripper, Kelly, and Luis. So as I said before, my name is Nicole. I'm a psychic medium and intuitive artist. Been reading for over a decade. And I just wanted to talk about some of the themes that I'm seeing in 2024. A couple of the other things that I want to talk about is intuition. I touched on this in the beginning of the live, but intuition is an inner instinct. It's a gut instinct. It's an inner knowing that is non-emotional. It tells you do or don't, will or won't. That's what intuition is. It has no emotion attached to it. And for a lot of us, the last time that we trusted or could hear our intuition or feel that intuition is when we were children, because that was a time when we felt like we could do anything. So if you have been struggling with your intuition, if you have been struggling with feeling that inside, I want you to go back to a time when you were a kid and when you knew something was right for you or you knew something was wrong for you. And I want you to try to go back and imagine that feeling. And if you need to close your eyes for a minute and you need to do it, do it. And once you've got that feeling, that's the intuition. And so every time you get that feeling as an adult, with the yes or the no, whether this or the that, you follow what your intuition is telling you. You know, I was thinking also about conversations, right? About good faith conversations and about bad faith conversations, okay? One of the things that I've been sharing with people, and I've been sharing it since 2023, be very careful of strangers or coworkers, people that you don't know very well, coming up to you and asking seemingly innocent questions, and you're not sure what they're getting at. Because what I'm seeing from Spirit is that a lot of this is energy harvesting. A lot of this is people trying to rope you into conversations, trying to rope you into arguments to drain and pull energy. They aren't real conversations. In this day and age, we really have to have good faith conversations with people. Conversations that mean something. I see the divinity in you, you see the divinity in me. There are a lot of people who will try to rope you into conversations only for the purposes of undoing you, of draining your energy and pulling on your light. So you have to be very aware of that. And this is where intuition comes in. Because you can always ask yourself, is this person operating in good faith? And wait for the answer. And if you don't get an enthusiastic yes, then it's a no. And that's the thing with intuition. That's the thing with these abilities. If it's not an enthusiastic yes, it is a no. You know, and a lot of times people will try to take a maybe or a no and turn it into yes, and it's just not. And you'll save yourself a lot of pain, and you'll save yourself a lot of issues, and you'll save yourself a lot of strain if you just listen to that inner voice. So let's see. I'm looking at the comments. If there's anybody who has questions, anything that you want to discuss, put them in the comments. I may stay on for just a little bit longer. I'm not going to stay on too long tonight. But I also want to say I really appreciate everybody jumping into the live today. If you're not following me, you can follow me at Live the Light, and that's here on TikTok. I also have a ton of videos on spiritual growth. If you listen to the videos and you like them, please like them, repost them, support them. That's how we create a chain reaction of positive energy, of positive thought. Because I think the purpose right now is to continue to raise the vibration. You know, there are a lot of us, myself included, who have been doing this spiritual work for a good 20 years or more. And now we're in a space where the public is seeing it and responding to it. And so we're at a place where we can tip the scales. We can tip them in a positive way, you know. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Palestine. Earlier, I shared the watermelon people. I'm not really sure how these lives work. I know that a lot of things get shadow banned, but I would be remiss if I didn't speak about our brothers and sisters in Gaza and just pray for their safety. You know, one of the things that I often do when Spirit calls me to pray for people is I will put a circle of protection around that person, around their family, around the area, and pray that they get through things safely. And if there are people that you know who are overseas now that are going through that, put a circle of protection around them. You know, at the end of the day, whether we live or die is in the hands of the divine, right? So we don't necessarily control that, but you can, with your effective prayers, know what to pray for and pray that if it be the will and for the good of all, that people continue to see another day. I think that our empathy is expanding. I think that the world is becoming smaller. And what you're going to find is that you're going to see a split, and many of you already have, but you're going to continue to see a split between people who have been doing their work spiritually and people who have not. And the people who have not been doing their work spiritually, who have kind of been burying their heads in the sand or ignoring what's going on in the world, you're going to find a lot of these people are starting to spiral out. And they're starting to spiral out because they're not plugged into the divine and they're not plugged into community. So if you're in a space right now where your heart is breaking, if you're in a space right now where you don't know what you're going to do next, if you're in a space right now where you feel on an emotional, mental, or spiritual level that you are losing it, that means you have empathy. That means you are tapped in and tuned into the vibration and the energy on this planet right now and what is happening. And what I would pray for you is to ask Creator to take that empathy and turn it into action where you can do something. And I would wait and I would pay attention and I would listen for the answer. Because for some of you, it may look like donating to a family in Gaza. And if you want to do that, Operation Olive Branch has a list of families that you can donate to. For others, it might look like doing Gaza Esims. For others, it might look like posting and reposting. For others, it may look like peaceful protests. For others, it might look like how you vote. Listen to your gut. Listen to your spirit. There are those of you who are going to want to write. Those are those of you who are going to want to sing and create poetry. There are many different ways to stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters abroad. Many different ways. And having empathy, and being able to harness that empathy in a way that is effective and transformational is a sign of spiritual maturity. You know, we're no longer kids in this spiritual thing anymore. We're adults. And it's time for us to grow up. We're growing up. We're looking at hard stuff. We're looking at difficult questions. We're looking at a crisis of faith. And I think there are a lot of us who are tuning more deeply into the divine. We're asking why. Why is this happening? One of the things that I consistently get from Creator, that I get from God, is to be God's hands and feet on earth. Donate, share, post, repost. If you choose to vote, vote this way. If you choose to abstain, abstain. But do something. Do what is in your heart to do. Things will get worse before they get better. But they will get better. And I have seen it. And my recommendation for everyone is to fight the good fight and keep going and keep moving and keep living and keep thriving. So for readings and more, you can find me at NicoleBowman.biz. You can also follow me at Live the Light on TikTok. And my book, I'm Spirit, it's a positive affirmation book, is available. Just go to NicoleBowman.biz and you'll see it. I'm going to get off of here in just a second if there's nothing else. But if there's anybody who wants to leave a comment or if there's anything that you want to say, go right on ahead. I will definitely talk and we'll have some conversations if you would like to do that. Let me see. So I'm going to comment here. If you want to go to NicoleBowman.biz, my website is going to be posted in the comments in a second. There we go. Yep. And let's see. So I'm looking to see if we have any comments. I'm looking to see. I don't think there's anything else. Is there anything that anyone would like to talk about? If you would, drop it in the comments. Let me know. Let's see. I'm looking, and I am putting my TikTok there as well. And I want to thank everybody who is a new follower. Because I appreciate it so much. Okay, so I think we're there. I think that's it. So I want to thank each and every one of you for coming here tonight and for being on this live. And I will come back for more. For readings of more, you know where to find me. If you're not following my page, please follow, please share, please support. If there's something you would like to see, please leave it in the comment sections on my videos or send me an email at my website. And so let's see. I think I'm going to get out of here now. Yep, and I'm going to end now. I thank you guys so much for being there and for supporting me, and I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day.